All right. So what's up, visionaries? A few of you guys actually asked me about the Trump tokens. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to do a little synopsis and a breakdown of what I think about the Trump token, how in your portfolio, using the 3C method and my barbell strategy, how you will be able to insert in this into your portfolio. I'll give you what I think about it, but you should also use your own due diligence, but use me as a guide to help you do your own research. Like, I don't want you to be these people who just sit here and listen to me. I want to educate you with my process. So then so I want to teach you how to fish because it takes a village. And then sometimes if I give you the right tools in order to find projects and strong things to invest in, you will be able to bring something back to me that I can't watch because there's over 4 million projects in the cryptocurrency market and I can't keep an eye on them all. I just want to teach you what I learned over the past years and I want to give it to you so you guys can understand it. So anyhow, the Trump token. There's nothing more to say that I can say about this. I'm not someone who's hugely into politics. Now, people who are politically charged, they are people who will always try to make you have a stance on something. We live in this bipolar, like not bipolar, but bipartisan divided culture now to where everyone wants to pigeonhole you so they can judge you no matter what. I'm not one who's big on that. But when you're in the investment space, you have to pay attention to politics because politics affects economics and economics affects money. And we're all here to make money. So with that being said, I am not here to be pro-Trump, anti-Trump. I don't want to be MAGA. And I don't want to be somebody who is Trump deranged syndrome. All I am saying is that this guy is our commander in chief. He is at the head of the table. He is the king on the chessboard. That's the most important thing that you need to understand. I'm going to also lead that if you're someone who's interested in the markets in general, I strongly suggest that you download Truth Social. It's because this is the president's preferred method of communication. Although I find that hilarious, if you like, it's the only social media app that I have notifications on because this guy can just say anything and it affects the markets. So if you got money in the market and you have any social media app on your phone, it doesn't matter whether you don't like him or not. If you have money in the market, you should download Truth Social because whether you like it or not, your money's going to be affected by what's on that app. And that's the thing that I want you to get through your head. So now I want to lead with I am somebody who I follow smart money. I follow narratives in crypto. And right now, crypto is driven by narrative. Always has, always will be. Back during the pandemic, the narrative was NFTs, meme coins, and the metaverse tokens, right? And it was all about that. And I believe actually somehow we're still on NFTs. They just switched the narrative of what an NFT is. And as I said many a times, what an NFT is, a non-fungible token. But as long as NFTs were essentially the, how do I say this? NFTs were essentially the proof of concept of smart contracts and the authentication of purchasing, right? It wasn't just about the JPEGs. It was about when you launched the smart contract, like when I buy this piece of art from somebody and then it changes hand, it doesn't verify and actually keep it secure so I know who had it. And you can follow the wallet addresses from each one of those NFTs in your wallet. And I got a few NFTs in my MetaMask wallet and they're just sitting there valued at zero. Money lost and wasted, but I experienced it. I'm not going to tell you that I didn't make money. I'm just saying that I played the game and I've done most things. And I'm telling you this because I played the meme coin game. I hit on some. I never had I actually have never made $1 million from one project. I've never been that person who's made like a bunch of money except from Loot Ring, but I put a lot of money into Loot Ring when I made money. And I'm telling you this because I'm somebody who's not really big on meme coins because I'm someone who I like things that if I asked you for money, right? And this is what I tell everybody. If you go and ask, whether it's your father, a client, or someone else, if you want to, if you could take money and they ask you, what was the money for? It's like, I'm going to make an investment in cryptocurrency. And it was like, oh, cool. What are you going to invest in? And then, even though we're talking about Trump here, I like to say, imagine telling someone you're going to invest in fart coin. Now I know the degen crypto bros are going to be like, people make money in fart coin. I'm just saying in the real world, right? And I love crypto. This doesn't mean that I'm saying that imagine going to somebody and telling them you're going to invest in fart coin. And they'd be like, what does fart coin do? And you're like, oh, it just makes money. It just sounds like gambling. And people don't loan people money for gambling. But if you go and tell somebody that Chainlink is a decentralized oracle, see, this is one of the things that people would give you money for because then you tell them how this is how all the blockchains are going to commute to bring data from the real world into the blockchain. Or if you tell them Ethereum is a smart contract platform and that BlackRock and JP Morgan Chase are going to tokenize assets on it, people will give you money for that. And if you don't believe it, there's a reason why Bitcoin and Ethereum was the first approved ETFs. They have proof of concept. Meme coins, I don't invest in because logically, when the market is down, like as you can see above my head here, or next to me, depending on where you're viewing this at, you will be able to see that the Trump token is down. And now, what would make you bullish on this other than the fact that Trump's polarizing, has a great brand, and has strong marketing? That's what you're waiting for. That's what you're banking on. There's no innovation in that. I mean, you can argue that there's some way you can find innovation, but truly, there is no innovation. So with that being said, meme coins is not something that I'm really don't pay that much attention to. And I have meme coins, like I have Ski Mask Dog, I have SPX 500, I have what's another one I have? Launch Coin, Believe, and then I have what's one more I have? I think I have Wall Street Pepe. And so I have a few meme coins, right? But not and I don't have a lot of money in it. It's a very small amount of my portfolio. And that's what I'm going to get into when I tell you how you're going to position yourself for this if you want this. So now, the Trump token is just a meme coin. The thing that's unique about this, right, is that I think somehow in the Clarity Act, they're going to make this like meme coins are going to be like collectibles or something like that. And I'm don't quote me on this because it haven't passed yet. I just been diving into it, and I believe that they're going to make it a collectible. And with that being said, Trump has a very strong brand, and this is whether you like him or dislike him or not, right? What I'm trying to say is his name rings bells in the streets. Of all the meme coins, as you can see, this one's fairly early. It pumped, right? At the beginning, at its launch, it was $1.20 and it pumped all the way up to like $44. Let's say what's the all-time high here. So all-time high, it went up to $75, right? On this little God candle right here, right? So now it went up to $75. And then now today it's at $7.54. Now, there was people, everyone always talks about the people who were in here, and this is another story about meme coins. Trump is at $7.54 today, right? But people always talk about that guy who made a lot of money, he invested this and he made this much, right? But no one talks about the people who joined to party late. And then people are unforgiving about it, right? But this reason why I'm making this video for you right now is because I want you to realize that you need to know when to enter and when you may be late to the party, and you just may need to sit and let it calm down. Because I decided that I was late to the party, and because, as I mentioned before, I was in the unofficial Trump token before he launched this one, and then it just left. I lost all that money I had invested in it. I was super bullish on it. I made videos on it. You can go see on my TikTok. I was talking about it. I was right. I just didn't think the guy would make his own meme coin. See, that's the thing about meme coins. You just make them up out of thin air, but then the real person could come in and take all the momentum from it, and your project's dead. And they always try to tell you about community, community, community. I do not invest in community. 10% of my decision making comes on how strong the community is. I care about the developers, the people who are building on it. Like, I care about the narrative. I care about the team. I care about, does it solve a real world problem? These are things that I always focus on. I am somebody who likes to go deeper into research because I like to invest in things that have some substance. See, many people don't like that. And that's why you have these critics and cynics out here on the internet who's like, it has no intrinsic value. See, intrinsic value is subjective. And I'm going to do a whole video about this later. But anyhow, I'm not going to get into that. So anyhow, Trump is $7.54 today. No one talks about these people who missed over here. This is what I want you guys to see. See, it went to the all-time low is 121. All-time high, 75 cents. Now, the fact that you're asking me about this, that means you heard something about this that I haven't. And I'm not paying attention to it. Like, I already do not care. I don't have any money in this. What I'm saying is, if there's any time to buy the Trump token, it'll be right now. I mean, the odds of this thing going back to $1.20, I think is zero. Like, but you never know. Like, because I think 80% of the people hold the token, right? 80% the team holds it, and then 20% has it, right? So then that means that little $7 is probably 20%, and it's just all retail holding the bag on that, is what it possibly could be. And then, but what this is how retail, if you're in this position and you're someone who has the Trump token, this is something where you need to be considering an exit strategy. Like, sometimes you got to get off the pot, right? And I don't want to swear because I don't want to be demonetized because I'm not posting on social media through the apps and things like that. So, but what I want you to realize is sometimes you look eye down your average, like, and then if you bought at like $70, man, I don't know. Like, you're just gonna have to hold forever, and you might be like the Dogecoin story, like the people who bought at 70 cents, right? And then so you just holding the bag, hoping that maybe Elon talks about it, maybe Mark Cuban gets behind it again. I don't know, but this Trump thing, right? He has a strong brand. He's the commander in chief. He controls everything. You pay attention to the Clarity Act. They make this a collectible. The Clarity Act passed. He could host a dinner again, right? But I don't remember the day of the dinner. But if you look at that chart, let's see. Let's go look and see. I'll do that now. Forgive me, guys. Trump token dinner. Let's see. Once this pulls up, what I'm gonna do is that, see, so the Trump private dinner was held on May 22nd at the Trump for top holders of the Trump cryptocurrency token. Attendees were selected based on who had spent the most and held the tokens the longest between April 23rd and May 12th, right? So now what I would just do is April 23rd to May 12th, right? So where we go? Let's see, April 3rd, right? See, there it is right there. See that small little pump right there. And where's May 12th at? Right there. All right. So now I'm going to move here. So that pump right here at this bottom, right? Because this thing's going to be in the way. So I got to show you to right here. That time period right there, that was the news. This is how buy the rumor, right? And so these people, this wasn't even a rumor. These people were buying to go to dinner with Trump because that's a power play in business. That's a networking deal. You buy the Trump token, and this is what people who aren't entrepreneurs or business people, right? You're buying the token to be in the room with other people who are purchasing the token. Now, I'm not the person who's trying to decide who's cool and who's not. This is what people in business do all the time, whether it's mixers, meetups, or anything else. It doesn't matter what the avenue is. And doesn't matter if you like the person, dislike, you're feeding the homeless. You get a room of people and you're giving people who's been the most philanthropic. And then you put them in the room. And then that's how you get everybody and everything, right? But what I want you guys to understand is that that's what you guys are waiting for. If you're down here at $7, you need something like that again that can pump it up. And I don't know, maybe you make the Clarity Act and see Trump is a hustler. Like, and like he's just a hustler. There's no other way to say it. And then no matter if you love him or hate the guy, there's a duality of a hustler. There's a hustler who's a swindler. There's a hustler who just does more with less. And maybe he's both. I don't know, right? All I'm saying is that the guy sells you gold watches, gold sneakers. He'll sell you a Bible with his signature in it. Like you gotta, the guy's going to make some money. Like, and I'm not even sure how legal it is, to be completely honest with you. I just think it's pretty funny. It's just we live in a capitalistic society, and then it's dog eat dog. And one of the things I want you to realize is that he may do something. I want to raise some funds, and he might do it for fun. Have another dinner. Get the Brad Garland house guy to give him some money some more. Maybe Brian Armstrong. These guys are throwing money at these guys because they know that he is in control of the markets. That's what you have to understand too. See, these other people, they know it. They know that this guy is the one who controls the thing. He's the top guy, whether he's the president or not. Anybody who's the president who's pro crypto will get the same treatment. I had no idea it would be Trump. And so now, when it comes to that market cap, I'm gonna wrap this up here, guys, right? So when it comes to the market cap, it's at 1.5 billion. So if you wanted to make 2 times on your money, it would have to go to 3 billion. And as I was saying before, right? If I switch this to market cap, the highest the market cap was, right, was $9 billion. Right? So let's see. See if I do this here. Boom, boom, boom. Right? So right here. See, 9 billion. So the highest that was $9 billion. And just look at that chart right there. That's what it looks like when you invest in meme coins. Right? Let me zoom this in. That's what it looks like. See, and I have this on the 1 month chart. Month 1, month 2, month 3. I only had 2 good months in the Trump token, right? 2 good months. Now, it has to get better. Like it just has to get better, right? And then even this 1 month wasn't even that great. Like, so it has to get better, or it just does what other meme coins does, is nothing. And then you got to see where's Melania at. But anyhow, when you look at the market cap at 1.5 billion, you want something, you want to make 2 times on your money, it just has to get to $3 billion, right? You don't really need it to do anything crazy, right? You just need it to get to $15, back where it was here at that Trump dinner. If you buy now, I would try to get a 1x on my money. So whatever, like, and that would just be a beginner's novice trade that I would think about. Not something where you're going to use a perp dex and try to trade futures and guess that price. I would just buy spot at 754. If you're someone who wanted to get in Trump token and think that you're probably going to lose your money because it's a meme coin and it's the president who can change his mind at any given day, right? But all you needed to do is get to $15 and you make twice on your money, right? And then if it goes on another epic run, which I don't imagine, unless they do something where he has another dinner, but a lot of people came out and said the dinner was trash, right? Let me see if I can see that real quick, right? A lot of people said that the dinner was trash, and I want to show you that real quick. And the reason why I'm showing you this, not just to take a dig at Donald Trump, is that I want to show you that if he tries to do that dinner again, he's going to have to either see. And I'm still telling you that I think people just go to that's taking a long time. So, anyhow, let me go back to this, right? So now, as you can see, 1.5 billion. Let's go to this barbell strategy real quick. So now, in my barbell strategy, I did this off Nassim Nicholas Taleb's barbell strategy. He says take 90% into safe bets, 10% in risky bets to give yourself a fair opportunity in the market without losing everything. I read this in the book, Skin in the Game. I'm going to do a whole video breakdown on just the barbell strategy, not even my crypto version, because my 3C method is me taking this strategy and putting it in to cryptocurrency and making it applicable. Meaning that I found out that in my 7.5 years of investing in crypto, right? But when I found this strategy, like I didn't have a name for it, didn't call it the 3C method. I read the book Skin in the Game. And then what I was trying to do is find out what were the most stable cryptocurrencies. This is where I came up with tier one, right? Most of the market caps, the tokens that are above $10 billion are stable. Even Dogecoin, because the price doesn't go down that crazy when the market corrects, right? Now, you're not going to see the 5Xs and the 10Xs. I think that's where most people get wrecked, is trying to chase the big money instead of just getting the, what do they call it, to take the short dime or the long nickel or the quick nickel, the short dime. I can't remember that quote. Something somewhere along that. Let me know in the comments if you guys know what that is. But anyhow, is that the tier one tokens, right, are $10 billion and above. When the market corrects, pulls back, as you can see, Bitcoin went from 127 to like 115. That's really not that much in grand scheme of things. Then it went to 107, 109, and now it's sitting around 99, 101, and it teeter-totters back through there. And this is in a market that people are trying to be bearish in, right? What I want you guys to realize is that you could also take tier two, right? Tier two is anything that's 500 million and above to 10 billion. This is what I call the mid market cap, right? Then below that is going to be 500 million market cap. The most meme coins, the ones that you are really looking for the cool stories that are really risky, are going to be under 500 million in market cap. And you have to read the liquidity. You find a team, find a strong narrative, and then you invest a little bit of your money. If you had $10,000 to invest, right? And you're a novice. See, if you're a novice, you shouldn't be going on decentralized exchanges until you get comfortable with buying and seeing things on Coinbase, and then you send some assets from the centralized exchange to the decentralized wallet and experience what that's like first and see it, because it's going to be panic when there's no one there to help you. I've worked with many of clients, and then when they get into that Coinbase wallet, and then or even the people I work with that been scammed, they're like, why did they make me go to the Coinbase wallet? Why did they make me go to the Discover area, the weird Web3 wallet? It's because there's no centralized control in those wallets. So when you do something there, it's just you. You don't got no one to cry to. It's the Wild West. That's the risk. That's the service I provide, is to be someone that helps you get started the right way. So shameless plug, you guys need to get on that call with me or get the mentorship if you already did the call and you want to dive deeper, because I'll get on a call and we'll just chop this up on an hour on one of your strategy calls. And I'll show you how to use DeFi protocols. I'll show you how to set up your ledger wallet and many other things. There's anything you want to know in crypto. When you're in the mentorship program, I will show you how to do it. But first, we'll set you up to make money while you're learning. And one of my goals is to help you make your money back when we do this mentorship. And now let me summarize this barbell strategy, because I want to know that when you have the portfolio, right, you would take 70% of your money and you would put it in the tier one assets. This is your Bitcoins, your Ethereums, your Solanas, your XRPs, your Dogecoin. But see, I don't like Dogecoin. I wouldn't recommend Dogecoin. So that's why when you read this, like that's why the ebook is the ebook, is that you just don't take what I wrote down. You have to understand what I'm trying to say. Is that Dogecoin, I think it's the laws of the depreciating returns, of diminishing returns. I'm sorry, is that I think it's just had its day. And as you can see, nobody's really talking about it. And the only thing that really keeps Dogecoin going is that its name and its virality from its past. And that when you open up these centralized exchange accounts, the first thing they're going to put into your face is Bitcoin. They're going to put the tier one assets in front of your face: Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, right? And then whatever is the most trending hot token is also going to be up there when you open up your centralized exchange app, always, because they're trying to get the trading fees, right? So anyhow, now the tier twos, this is the mid-market caps, 500 billion. This is where the chain links are at. This is where the ton token. This is where I think Tron's tier one. I can't remember right now, but then this is where all of these are at. The tier two tokens, they are dangerous. And then if you listen to if you read the barbell strategy, he says that the middle ground is the worst place to be, but in crypto, there's some winners there. Like there's so like, because the goal is you want your tier two asset to become a tier one asset, right? So if you get into something that's $1 billion and then it goes to $10 billion in market cap, that's a 10x on your money. You just made 10 times on your money. Let's see, you need a strong narrative, a strong team, and it needs to have real world utility to get to tier one. Like, not very many things get that far. Like, you'll see Dogecoin there, but Dogecoin needed Elon and Mark Cuban and a bunch of marketing behind it. And then anyhow, is that, but that's why I think the Trump token might be good for you as well. So anyhow, the 500 million is the tier threes, and then same with the tier threes. You want the tier threes to be able to reach the tier two. So if something that's 500 million, it reaches $8 billion, $2 billion, or something that's $64 million and it reaches $1 billion, right? You make 10, 20, 100 times on your money. That's how you structure this barbell strategy. This is when we get onto this call to build your portfolio. Even if you have, I want you to go in there and I want you guys to look at this. You guys in the community that put the portfolio together, while I was explaining it to you, is that I was just telling you that these are the ones that people are talking about, and this is where you're going to go. So now I'm way over. I got 30 seconds left because I only like to make these no longer than 30 minutes, right? So last but not least, the Trump token here, right? These are the meme coins. As you can see, look at Dogecoin, 24 billion. Shiba Inu is 5 billion. So when you see these, like, these are the top ranked meme coins by market cap, right? So you have Dogecoin that's 24 million. That's a tier one. Shiba Inu's a tier two. It's below 10 billion, right? Meme Core, that's a tier two. Pepe, that's a tier two. Official Trump. See? So that's right there. If anything, you should hope that Trump token could reach Dogecoin status. And I think it's weird that it can't hold that. And that's why I don't really like the Trump token. I'd rather go risky on pump.fun on something. But I really like this one, though, if you want. So two that I like Pudgy Penguins, but that has like a brand that can do something at a broader spectrum because it's not as controversial as Trump, right? Then I also like SPX 6900. A lot of people like Dog with Hat. There goes Fart Coin, right? There's some other meme coins, but like if you go down here, right, the money is down in here. When you get into these weird names, this is where the money's at. See, let me see where mine is at because I got one. I just want to see if it's in there. Let me know. See, I like all the based meme coins, right? I think Coinbase is going to make those really good once, but retails doesn't have any money. Like there it is, Ski Mask Dog. See my little asterisk next to it. See, I have Ski Mask Dog. It's $22 million. If it goes to a billion, that's 5 times on your money. 5x, easy 5x. I like Ski Mask Dog more than Trump Token, in my opinion. But if I had to pick a meme coin, I like Ski Mask Dog. Why? I just think it's silly. And I think that's the whole point of meme coins is that it's silly and then the avatar is marketable. Like having a ski mask on a dog, right? And it kind of gives me that NFT feel. There's no fundamental analysis on this meme coin stuff, guys. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. But you can get Ski Mask Dog on the Coinbase wallet. So yeah. So anyways, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. As I was saying, is that if you're into this Trump token, enter at your own risk. And that's what I really wanted you guys to get through. Let me know anything projects you want me to look into and break down like this, guys. And we're going to have a live session going on every Thursday moving forward. All right. Bye.